Great. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for attending this webinar. This is the monthly meeting that we have with you on different topics in AI. Today, we are very lucky to be hosting Mr. Alex Borg, who is speaking to us, all of us, of course, specifically on how AI is affecting supply chain. Mr. Alex Borg, is a chartered trainer and advisor in logistics, transport, and supply management. He has over 24 years experience. He doesn't look that old, me neither. So we're like young people, but with lots of years of experience. He's been on the board and senior management leadership in artificial intelligence for over 20 years. In 2019, Alex joined the Institute of Supply Chain Management in the UK. He's on the advisory board of the Institute of Supply Chain Management. And his task actually is to develop the Mediterranean region, the Middle East region, in terms of supply chain management. Interestingly, of course, AI is playing a big role in the evolution of the supply chain and how it's changing. It seems that the landscape of transportation and logistics has made a big transformation. That's the area, and Mr. Borg will be speaking to us about that. A few things before we start. If you have any questions during the session, please write them in the QA, and we will be happy to answer them at the end of the webinar. And I will respond to you that we've received the questions. And another note, just that, Mr. Alex, we've asked him to focus on, artificial intelligence in supply chain. So if there are questions related to other areas of AI, please defer them to a different webinar, because this one we want to give it its right. You will see how important this topic is, and we want to focus in this webinar on this topic. Now, before I give the floor to Mr. Alex, I want to say a couple of words about our sponsors who are organizing the webinar today. So first of all, KGC is a leading organization in terms of learning and development. Been over 17 years in the field, and has been extensively engaged with organizations all over the Middle East, with a high satisfaction rate of customers, and a big staff of around 250 people, and operations in over 18 countries. And on the next slide, I will show you some of the organizations that KGC partner with in order to bring the best in class experiences. So briefly, they work with big top business schools I can see on the bottom, and other organizations such as the Institute of Supply Chain, for example, in the MENA region, SHRM, and others. Our second sponsor I will speak about is GoLearning. GoLearning, on the next slide, you will see that GoLearning is one of the biggest educational platform in the region. It offers a catalog of more than 10,000 professional development courses, and they do this in partnership with global education technology leaders like Coursera, edX, and others. The platform, it provides you accessibility and flexibility. Users can access through mobile, desktops, tablets, and they have access to programs in 30 different languages or more. You can actually subscribe to a free model, which you can access about 4,000 free courses, or you can subscribe for as little as 25 dirhams a month. It is one of the organizations that are an e-end organization, so it's an e-end company, and it focuses mostly on programs that are related to technology and AI. So if you were asking what differentiates GoLearning from other platforms, the focus is on technology and AI. Um, I think this is what all I have to say today. I'll speak to you again at the end of the webinar. However, at this point, Alex, it's a pleasure to have you as one
Thank
of
you.
the speakers or the speaker today. I'm looking forward to hear more about supply chain. So it seems that every meeting I go to, the word supply chain comes into conversation because everybody talks about our supply chain. And I'm
Yes.
very interested to understand more about it and how AI is changing that. So the floor is yours.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. First of all, thank you very much. My name is Alex, as you said. I have been in the field for almost 30 years now. I started my career in the south of Europe, in the island of Malta. And by the mid of 90s, I joined a government institution on training. And then by the end of 98, I joined the Institute of Logistics in UK. And it has changed absolutely my life because um, I started to work with them as well. I have spent over 20 years with that institute, working in different countries and especially in Middle East. I was regional director between 2008 and 13, where we had a lot of success in terms of membership, events, training, etc. And then, as you rightly said, in summer of 2019, I joined the Institute of Supply Chain, which is based in Newcastle. They are very happy people now in Newcastle because they won the first cup in 70 years. So we have a very young institute, and we have a very good education, what do you call it, education framework, which covers over 10 structures of training. It's a unique in its respect, about 10 structures. But anyway, my role is contributing on the board and also responsible for the Middle East, which we established an office back in 2019 again. And we support a number of organizations, which one of them now is KGC. We have a whole strategy coming up, and I'm very working. I would like to thank all the management of KGC to entrust both the institute, which I represent and work, and myself as a professional done. UAE and the Middle East, is one of the top countries and region for logistics, ports, airports, supply chain platforms, land transport in terms of rail transport now. So there's so much happening in the whole, not only in UAE, because UAE has a lot of things going on, also in the AI, but also on the infrastructure in terms of air, sea, and land. So many, and the whole region. And I witness a lot of developments going on, too much, especially in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Saudi Arabia, especially as well, because we do training there as well. So yeah, it's nice to be there and to be part of the growth. To be part of the growth. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about AI and supply chain because supply chain was not always on the board, on the agenda of the board, but in the last, I would say, allow me to say, in the last 5, 6 years, especially pre, during, and post-pandemic, suddenly, yeah, it's like having something has been on the shelf and everyone is handling it, but suddenly this something has become very popular. People sometimes, have tools in their hands. They don't realize how much important it is, but suddenly this tool, becomes so much important suddenly. And this is what happened in supply chain actually, because logistics and supply chain has been with us for many, many years. But suddenly, because of, especially after the pandemic, and everything related to it. Some supply chain has, boom, escalated, and suddenly everyone was talking about the disruption of supply chain, the finance of supply chain, the risk of supply chain, so many things, so many things, so many things. But today, we're going to talk about the future of supply chain. Now we have this artificial intelligence, which has been with us now for a couple of years. It's evolving all the time. It's evolving. So much things are going on, so much discussions are going on. But from our side, we're going to tackle it from the supply chain point of view. One of the main concerns that many people, even myself, which we also bring on board, is how supply chain is going to affect the human being, you know. And yes, there will be changes coming up, definitely, like anything else. I mean, this is the same example that when you go back when the the ICT, Information Communication Technology, came into act, there was a lot of, you know, resistance, concerns, but suddenly that tool has become a very important tool which we cannot live without, you know? So I would say that this is a replica of the same situation, with the difference that the information technology nowadays, and especially artificial intelligence, is more working fast. Maybe if you look at the 90 and the 10 decades of 90s up to 2000, there was so much progress in the information technology with Microsoft and other, you know, other platforms and tools. But artificial intelligence now is, I would say, double or triple the speed of what we used to have back in the 90s, you know? So one has to start looking, those who have not yet touched base what AI can do. I would suggest start making some research to familiarize yourself with it, because it's very important. It's becoming a tool which you can, you know, we have to live with it and we have to work with it. So I would say, like anything else, there is the pros and cons. But today, we're going to look how artificial intelligence support or the benefits of in the supply chain. First of all, if you look at the trade and business community, there is so much expectations in the market between all the trading partners. I'm talking about B2B and B2C, no? There is so much expectations. People nowadays have a mobile in their hand, or an iPad, or a laptop. They go through it, and in a few seconds they can order food, they can order clothes, they can order stationery, they can order anything, either from the same place, either from from other place in the country, or from overseas. And the biggest challenge for the provider is to provide that service and that product in a very speed of time. So I believe one of the tools that artificial intelligence is going to do is to enhance speed, okay? Enhance speed. First of all, enhance efficiency. It's important. Also in the accuracy of data, okay? Real-time support is going to be more proactive in the risk management, and at the end, customers are going to be more satisfied, and on the whole, create a sustainability of between the trading partners. I mean, the supplier, the retailer, and the user, which is very important, because those are the expectations now. You can't look back. If you speak to any service provider or any product provider, okay? One the speed of delivery can be a competitive advantage to any competitor. It's not about the quality of the product. It's not about the cost of the product, because quality and cost has been always on the agenda. You know, if you speak on any 3PL provider on a courier or a retailer, but now we're talking about speed. It's not about quality and cost only, but now we're talking about speed. People always look at the different criteria between one and the others. Okay, so speed is very important, and artificial intelligence is now that tool which is going to facilitate all this, you know. Um, I would say that AI, I've done some basic research to see where it started, and I have found that the birth of a concept through it was between the 1950s and 60s. So as we can see, didn't start it right now. We started with the algorithms about the limited practical application in supply chain management, and then between the 80s and the 90s, there were the development of experts about the base of AI, especially in the adoption of automobile and manufacturing industries. So, yeah, I mean, someone back, very long time back, start to think about it, you know, and then through time, it has evolved. And I think, and I believe, not think, I believe that now it's keep on evolving. So if we look back about, especially about the automation, there was a bit of data entering and processing, you know, where AI was handling a large volumes of data entry and processing tasks, which was done before manually, you know. Order processing, especially the algorithms automated process of order management. This ensures timely and accurate data fulfillment, which is very important. And also the inventory replenishment, you know, where monitors the inventory level in real time and automatically trigger the reordering levels when stocks fell below certain threshold. And then we had the demand and forecasting, which is another important issue for everyone, where they used to analyze historical data. This enables business to plan their production and inventory levels more efficient and more accurate. We have the trend identification, where it helps supply chain managers to understand market dynamics, okay, and customer preference. And the performance analysis, you know, AI provides insights into different efficiency and effectiveness of various supply chain process. I will explain here. You can have an organization, either can be in the early stage of supply chain or in the middle of supply chain between the trading partners, and you could have an organization who is buying, you know, from different channels, you know, and distribute to different channels, right? All these parties which are working with this organization, they have their own supply chain as well, right? Because when we talk about supply chain, we talk about both the supplier and the buyer have their own supply chain. But in some way, at some instance, they have to talk to each other. You know, they have to talk the same business language. So basically, what we are saying here, that AI can create that efficiency and effectiveness of various supply chain between the buyer and the supplier. So you can have, for example, you can imagine virtually, you can imagine, you know, supplier who's buying from different channels and distribute to different channels. And then we have the same situation for the buyer who is buying from different sources and channels and distribute the different channels. So you can have a whole network, you know, of different partners buying from everywhere, because, you know, people, organizations, for the reason for for two main scopes. If I group them all for two main scopes of cost and service, and speed, for cost and service, they always look for, they always source, different channels from where they buy raw material, etc., or goods, and until they produce it and they send it to different countries, sometimes through different continents. And the same buyer, they look for different suppliers to meet their costs. And then again, the buyer have to support different clients, either in his own city, region, or country, or clients in different countries. So you can have a mix of networks, crossing from, and this is the scope of AI, because the scope of AI can make this whole mix of networks more efficient and effective. And supply chain managers, especially, or planners who are in the supply chain, can use these tools to facilitate their work, So let's look at AI, how AI is driven demand and forecasting, First of all, excuse me for, okay. Okay, the evolution of supply chain management can be best described as the transition from focusing on cost and efficiency to integrate advanced technology in real-time data insights of global coordination. The question is, how long has the supply chain been around, and how long supply chain have been for many centuries? Okay. AI, first of all, can enhance the demand forecasting by integrating with supply chain systems, by considering factors such as lead times, transportation, constraints, and supplier ability. Retailers can ensure a more synchronized supply chain that aligns with prediction demand pattern. This is exactly what I have said before through the different patterns of supply chain networks. First of all, machine learning algorithms can regression analysis, neutral networks, and time series analysis. This is one of the most important things. This is more technical issues where AI, in terms of algorithms, can regression the analysis, neutral networks, and time series analysis. This is very important, especially for forecasting. Okay. It will go through deep learning techniques. This is very important. Assemble methods where it can sort of see different methods and how to bring them all together. And the most important thing is the real-time integration. The benefits are various. First of all, reduce stock shortages. One of the targets that every inventory manager, warehouse manager, purchasing manager, supply chain manager is facing with as part of his KPI is to balance the issue of stock and cost of holding stock and the cost of serving the customer. So basically, one of the benefits of AI in forecasting is to balance the issue of cost and service. This is very important. Also, it will reduce overproduction, because if we don't have real-time data in our hands, there is a risk. Shall we overstock? Shall we keep stock to the minimum with the risk of leaving customers without stock? So I believe artificial intelligence through the forecasting, it will try to balance the issue of overproduction. Okay, it will definitely help many people over the decision making. What decision I'm going to take about how much I'm going to buy, when I'm going to buy it, and how much I'm going to send. So, because this is the situation. If you have a process which is, if you have a purchasing process which is automated and is an interface with your supplier, okay, you can manage the stock levels, because once it reach the reordering level, that all lead time is well studied between the different partners. And once it's reached the reordering levels, it triggers to the supplier, and the supplier will obviously send the goods according to the agreement that there is in place between the partners. But it definitely, one of the issues which many people working inside or alongside the supply chain is the decision making. And finally, it will increase efficiency. This is most important thing, for the results and reputation of everyone involved in the supply chain. Oh, inventory. This is another challenge for everyone working inside or alongside the supply chain, especially for planners and supply chain and inventory controllers. Why? Because inventory is always built on uncertainty. You never know when a customer is coming into my shop, or when a customer is going to place an order online, how much he's going to order and how much he's going to spend. Okay, in the past, a lot of retailers, big retailers, which we know about, have created the CRM, Customer Relationship Management, which we're going to speak about as well. And the whole scope of the CRM was for the retailers, especially, to stay close with their customers, because they wanted to anticipate the behavior of their customer in terms of purchasing power, the spending power, So basically, we had already some tools in place. What AI is going to do, is going to continue enhancing in the most intelligent way, is going to enhance the tracking of all what I have said. When a customer is going to place an order or walk into my shop, and how much is going to spend. So that is very good, because if you have a retailer, that data have to be shared with the suppliers. So it's not only between the customer and the retailer. That data has to be shared also with their suppliers. And when you have this integrated process with all the trading partners, definitely AI is going to be a whole beneficial for the inventory, because you have computer vision, we have a Internet of Things, predictive analysis, which is very important, which automating, and then we will optimize the demand forecasting, So the risk in the forecast I believe it will continue to lower and to dimension. We will continue to optimize the supply chain, which is crucial, Every day we have to bring ideas how to optimize and improve the supply chain. And definitely AI is going to be one of that. Dynamic reordering in terms of orders from our suppliers. And the most important thing, we balance the inventory. Financial controllers, many inventory. I have been in my life working as a purchasing manager and stock control manager. And one of the challenges that you always face, because my boss was always CFO, this Chief Financial Officer, is to bump on my head to minimize the expenditure on the stock. So definitely one of the benefits is going to be the inventory balancing on the stock. Now, AI in transportation and logistics. Oh, yes, that is very important. For example, if you let me mention one thing. Those of us who work or live in Dubai, okay? Transport has become, Dubai is a cosmopolitan city, right? For example, like many other cosmopolitan cities. Living in a town is becoming very, very hectic. Why? Because you have to do so much things from early morning, not only working through your day, but either before and even after, you have to do a lot of things, you know. So real-time traffic analysis is very important. Nowadays, everyone is programming everything. Even so, if tonight I'm going to sleep around 11 o'clock, for example, I know exactly what I'm going to do tomorrow up to 7 o'clock. So nowadays, everyone is programming everything. Not only tomorrow, people are programming even the whole week. But to be realistic, let's say I will plan to, people are programming today, I'm programming tomorrow, and I'm programming the whole week. So people are working, especially young generation. So this is the environment around us nowadays, and to be able to do that, especially if I don't drive my car, even if I drive my car, because if you go to cosmopolitan cities, you know, you are always held in traffic, and people go crazy in it. But now there are other ways and route of transport which you can use. Like, for example, in Dubai, you have the metro you can use, or taxi, you know, or you can make use of boat. You know, people are always look for different modes of transport. Okay. And we have people who flying from one place to another for meetings. I used to do it from my country to London when I used to work with other institution for one day. So everything has to be programming, you know. So everything, and I go crazy if something goes wrong. So AI definitely is going to help in that sort as well, in real-time traffic analysis. Many road and transport authorities are already doing it, you know, and transport companies are already using AI in their operations. You have dynamic route adjustments, especially if there is some accidents on the route. So it will inform and change the routes of the network of the road network routes. You have a historical data utilization, where for example, where you have transport organizations and transport authorities will use for their planning, and predictive maintenance, you know, for route planning. On the side of the vehicles, now we have self-driving cars, which we call them autonomous vehicles. Many countries started to introduce them. And we have truck platooning, which obviously they are using as well. We have drone deliveries started already, like Amazon, and fleet management. So there is so much happening on the transport side, both from the infrastructure and route planning, and also on the fleet. So much happening, you know. I remember a couple of years ago, I used to be part of an organization called ITS, Intelligent Transport Systems. And me and my colleague, David, we went to France, in Bordeaux, and we saw the first autonomous car, you know, and it was so fantastic. I think it was 2015, if I'm not wrong. It was so fantastic. So a lot of things have happened through these years, you know. So now let's look at the AI in customer relationship management, which I spoke around already. First of all, I believe retailers are changing, or have been changing rather than changing. Some of them have already changed the philosophy and policy of a retail, because some of them are opening 24 hours. The reason being is that people are so busy with their work and with their family and with their studies and with others' social life, that some people prefer to buy their goods late evening or through the night, for example, or weekends, you know. So retailers are started to work on a 24/7 operation for the convenience of their customers. And they can't look back now, because they have inserted this policy of 24/7 service, and it's being now part of their business. So AI definitely is going to power the chatbots, where we have the 24/7 availability. Okay, you have the instant response from retailers to customers. There is some personalized products which can be made and produced. Scalability is very important, and consistent service, which I spoke about, because customers are so busy with their life. And on the other side, AI definitely is going to support the faster order fulfillment. This is very important. Improve accuracy in what you order in terms of number of items and different items and different SKUs. Enhance customer expectations and experience. Optimize the inventory management, which we spoke about already, and will definitely help the resource allocation for the operation. And finally, it will enhance the scalability of the product. What are the challenges in AI adoption? This is a bit more of a technical. First of all, the implementation is very complexity. Okay, it's an integration with the legal system. Okay, data quality and accessibility. This is very important because AI is more and more everything is built on data, and you need talent people and expertise people to implement AI in your organization. And the most important thing is the change management that you need to do from the traditional way the way you have been doing it, and to enhance it to AI. It requires a bit of high initial cost, especially upfront cost. And then it requires an ongoing maintenance and upgrades, such as training and development. There is a bit of risk in it as well, and the return of investment. But like anything else, a system, I used to tell, allow me to bring an example on this, because it's very important to mention an example. Long time back, when I was taking my training on WMS in Birmingham, in UK, while I was taking the training, the owner of the company, my friend Steve Cross, have told me one thing: a system will support you and is good, and as long you administrative it very well, because it's data in, data out, like anything else. So it's the same thing, the principle is the same. AI is based on data. Data is power. Data is power. Okay? Even CRM is based on data. Everything is data. So data is power. Data in, data out. So as long you administer the system very good, like the previous systems we had before, you need a bit of investment on it. Okay, you need a bit of investment. But the most important thing is the change, because sometimes people resist to change. And now with the AI in our hands, we have to make use of it. Okay, the most important thing is that you don't be afraid of it. You learn about it. You learn what it can do in your business. Okay, what are the benefits you can gain for you and your clients, and how you can maintain it. This is very important. And keep yourself sharp with the information that how AI is developing. That is all about. In summary, the future of AI in supply chain involves a shift towards proactive models that anticipate and respond to potential issues before they occur. We spoke about it in forecast, as well as advanced risk management capabilities that enhance supply chain resilience and efficiency. By leverage proactivity, AI models, advanced risk management capabilities, business can create more resilient and efficiency into the supply chain. These technologies enable organization to stay ahead of potential disruptions, which we have every day. You know, if you allow me, the pandemic was a great lesson for us, but we thought that the pandemic will be one-off disruption in the supply, and we were totally wrong, because after the pandemic we had so much things happening around us, and which everyone knows about, okay, in different geographic parts of the world. It can optimize their operations and ensure timely and reliable delivery of products and services. So bottom line, what I'm trying to say, okay, in this brief presentation, I have looked the evolvement, where we started, how it evolves in supply chain, the benefits of supply chain, AI into supply chain. We looked briefly on forecasting. We looked on transport and logistics. We looked at inventory. We looked at customer relationship management. Okay, these are, I think, four important pillars in I will mention again, forecasting and demand, you know, inventory management, logistics and transport, and customer relationship management. I think these are four pillars into supply chain management. And if one, so there are two levels. Either you are using a traditional supply chain software and you want to integrate AI in it, because most of the ERPs or WMS or TMS systems, they all take AI. They can all integrate AI into their systems. So although you will invest in it, but all the proactive systems that we have around us, they can all integrate AI. And then it's up to you to make use of this brilliant tool to be more smarter in the way you plan, organize, and process your operation with your customers, and stay on the edge into your business scenario. Thank you very much. Doctor?
Yes, thank you so much, Alex. It's an interesting thing, especially that we're all affected by it, especially through buying stuff. And let me ask you a couple of questions here.
Please.
In terms of purchases, you notice that, once you, for example, click on something on Amazon or any other site that, you buy stuff, all of a sudden, everything, next thing you scrolled to is actually related to it. So they keep showing it at the same time. So is this part of, the system, the data, being adjusted?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the big firms, especially on the last mile companies, the courier companies, we call them last mile, we call them now. Last mile companies like Aramex, Amazon, and all these delivery online, shopping online and delivery, are all have integrated the AI, because the expectation, as I said, let me tell you something. Allow me this. Actually, the supply chain, if you look at from a supply chain customer perspective, okay, supply chain is not built from the inbound to the outbound. Supply chain, a real supply chain, is built from the outbound to the inbound. What do I mean?
Yeah.
If you have an organization and the organization is trying to reorganize itself, or it's a startup, right? It's either a startup, or it's trying to or it's already in business, and it's trying to re-engineering itself, right? You don't build a supply chain from the inside to the outside. That's why I said inbound and outbound. You have to build yourself from the outbound to the inbound. What do I mean by that? I mean that you need to study your client base. You can't study your inside. Inside, your resources, your potential, it. You know what are your your strengths and weaknesses, right? Inside, you know your resources, you know your potential, you know your people, you know your organization. So you know all about it, I should say you should know about it, right? You should know
Yeah.
about it. The most challenging part of supply chain is the outbound, because as I said in my presentation, you never know how many clients are going to be online or walk into my business and what type of material they're going to buy and how much they're going to spend. No?
Yeah.
Okay, the trends are many. I'm talking from the client, the I'm talking from the client point of view, okay? Client point of view. The people on the street. I'm talking from the people on the street, okay? Where you have the quantities, right?
Yeah.
Okay, companies can have prediction. Why? Even retailers can have prediction. Why? Because most of the people earn their salary by the end of the month. So the spending salary, the spending pattern is around
Yeah.
by the last week of the month and by the first week of the next month. Those 2 weeks, right? This is
Yeah.
what the CRM is built on. But at the end, people, obviously, malls and supermarkets and retailers are people walk into these outlets through the
Mhm.
whole week, through the whole month. So the question is,
Correct.
so the whole question is how much they are going to walk in, how much they are going to spend, and what they are going to choose, even
Yeah.
online. And the company needs to be ready, for that. So basically, AI is going to speed data and try to anticipate, and minimize the
Yeah.
risk.
Yeah. That's interesting. I have a question also from one of the another question from one of the attendees, Mr. Arfan. Thank you so much for your question. It says, how can an employee working in logistics and planning inventory can make themselves ready for an AI supply chain? For example, what skills or courses we need to do to stay relevant in this new change?
Look, first of all, for anyone who is working inside or alongside the supply chain, okay, in different components of supply chain, the first thing you need to do, familiarize yourself. Go on different internet platforms like Google, or I don't want to make marketing, but you can go on Google and start read about it, what it can do. That's the first thing you need to do. I spoke about it in my presentation. Familiarize yourself. Familiarize yourself. I mean, look, as you know, I'm a trainer and I have been doing training in the Middle East for many, many years, almost 2 decades. And I met so much people. Nowadays, people in working in different sectors of business can be either in a 3PL, like JAFTA operators, right? When I say 3PL, the JAFTA, the logistics operators, or any or any free zone area. People working in hotel industry, project management on construction, pharmaceutical, across people who are working in supply chain or inventory are always pressed to balance. I spoke about it already. Balance the number of inventory and the service to their clients. Okay? So much pressure, so much KPIs, so much challenges on our heads. And that is, I mean, person like the person who raised our colleague who have raised this issue, this question is he's right. He's right. How can I? So the issue is the first thing, read about AI, what AI can do within the inventory and supply chain to familiarize yourself. And then speak about it with your colleagues, especially with the IT people who are managing your ERP system, your WMS or TMS. Speak with them. So when you go and talk to your IT people, you can justify your claim. You can justify your claim and why AI is important for inventory and supply chain. And you know what you're talking about. So they can understand your claim, your justification, and then they can accept your point, your justification, and then there will be the investment in it. but you have to raise an issue, right? You have to be persistent on it. You need to know what you're talking about, the benefits of the company. Because at the end, it's not only for your benefits, it's the benefits for the company and the benefits for the clients of the company. And so you need the IT guys with your department to work together.
Okay. Well, that's nice. I have another question. Says, do you have any references for AI adoption strategy implementation?
Yeah, we can share. I think the best thing is that if there is some questions like this, I
Yeah.
mean, they can send their email to KGC, and then I can refer some what you call links where they can look at them as a case studies. Yes, I can do that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So, Mohammed, if you can please just email back KGC, and then we will be happy to share with you the case studies. I have another question. So what are the key challenges companies are face when implementing AI in their supply chain operations?
First of all, look, one of allow me to say, I'm going to be allow me to be a bit straightforward on this point, please. But I'm talking with experience, not because from the clouds. One of the biggest challenges you find in supply chain, you need a good leader and a good project manager to be acting like a project manager to implement a very good strategic supply chain platform. That's the most important thing. Because sometimes people are either busy, too much busy. You can have a CEO, CFO, COO, they are too much busy. Maybe they don't have enough time to look into this matter and look at and understand the importance of supply chain and the effect it will have on their business and on their customers. Plus, they might lack information as well. They might lack information. They might not be experts. I don't pretend that a CEO or CFO or COO could be experts in supply chain or experts in AI. No, I don't expect that. But if they have a matter subject expert in IT and on automated process, this guy should come up to them with the right information and the right tools and a bit of analysis, cost analysis, and the benefits of those cost analysis, how to implement AI within the supply chain. It's very important. Because look, it's like I finish with this. It's like when you write a report, I've been through this many years. When you write a report about supply chain purchasing inventory and you present it to the company CEO, they don't have time to read all that 20, 30, 40 pages. They just need to see one page front. They want to see like a dashboard, the cost of the present analysis and the cost benefits of the future with their investment. That's what they want to see, just one page, like a dashboard. That is what they want to see. They have no time to read the report. And this is the same thing when you present something for investment on AI. They just need to see a dashboard, the cost benefits analysis, and the client benefits as well, how they go, especially on return on investment.
Yeah, I think that's all. What can we expect in terms of retail? I mean, they now you look for some now you say something like me and you talking. Let's talk about foods for dog. And now next time I open my phone or my computer, I get ad about food for dog. What's next?
The thing is, when you go online, you have a laptop or a gadget or mobile. Behind it, there's a whole process, right? So
Yes.
once you click which product are you going to which product are you going to say, people expect you know the product, you know the integrants of the product because now you can push and you can know um, the integrants of the product and especially the cost. People expect that product is after your door after 1 minute. you know, after you order it.
Yeah.
So organizations are organizing themselves, not only with warehouses and distributions and fleet. Now we have drones, you know,
Yeah.
plus they are organizing what I call them mini distribution centers.
Yeah.
You know, I give you
Yes.
one example. In UK, for example, in UK, if you look at the big retail outlets, you know, like Sainsbury's, Walmart, so many of them, you know, so many. They have opened also small shops in the center of the city. When you come out of the rail, for example, London, if you look at London, London is all tube, right? Both on the land and rail on the land and tube
Yeah.
under the ground. So once you come out of the train station, you will have these small metro shops where you will find these essential things that we need every day, right? This is
Yes.
full. And now we find that not only in UK, in London, in UK, you find them everywhere. You find them everywhere. So what companies are doing, they are restructuring, reorganization themselves to make sure that once the customer have ordered something, the speed of delivery, the last mile, is something incredible. This is, I think, where we're going now.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of, it's not a matter of, as I said in my presentation now, it's no more now an issue of quality and cost, because that has been already in place.
Yeah.
Okay? Companies which are competing with each other, for example, you know, if you look at, I give you an example. If you look at Jebel Ali in Jafsa, it's full of 3PL companies with different names, international, local or international. These guys, they know exactly what their competitors are doing in terms of number of pellet holdings, chill, freezer, products, ambient, everything. Cost per pellet position, cost of service. They know everything about everyone. So it's not a matter now about quality and cost. Now it's a matter of speed, because the customer expectations now every day are growing, growing, and growing. So you need to invest there now. There is the investment now. When you order something, you need it in after your door, just seconds or minutes after you have ordered it. That's the challenge now.
Yeah. It's interesting because now it says get it before, for example, 6 p.m. today. So this is as fast as they can. They know exactly which, article can be delivered at what time. And I think you're right. I mean, I can see plenty of warehouses scattered all around so that they can
Yeah,
probably send
and there
very
are
quick.
two scenarios which are happening now. Two scenarios. One, if you have an organization which the organization is delivering its products and services to the clients direct, that is one thing. But there is another scenario. You have trading partners are collaborating together.
Yeah.
For example, I give you one example. If you have a parcel which you have shipped by, for example, DHL, right? And you're shipping it from Dubai to Saudi Arabia. So you have been the DHL have been committed to you that by that expected time that parcel will reach there, right?
Yes, correct.
And you have already informed your partner in Saudi Arabia that that envelope will reach him by the expected time.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
DHL have their own fleet, but it doesn't mean they use their fleet, because
Yeah.
if they go to Terminal 2 in Dubai, where you have all these courier
Yep.
companies, right?
Yes.
The first aircraft they found, they will book their space and they send it. So what I'm trying to say is there is also trading.
Collaboration.
There is also trading between even competitors between them to make
Yeah.
sure that the product reach the end customer in time.
Yeah, of course. Because they want to keep control of the market because they want everybody to remain there.
On the other side, yes, it is. But companies are committed now. They are committed. If they don't keep their commitment, they might lose part of their market share. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
They are so focused. They are very business oriented, so
Yeah.
focused on the last mile. So
And together they create a great barrier for entry for other organizations.
yes, that's true. That's true. But they are also committed by their customers.
Yeah,
So look, it is true that on one side you can look at it as you said, but on the other side, the demand driven, the customer driven situation, it's putting a lot of pressure on them as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Alex. Been very interesting, discussion and presentation, and we're just on time. I would like to, extend you a heartfelt thank you and welcome, to the partnership with KGC, and thank you for this
Thank you.
webinar.
Something
Yes,
I would like is first of all, thank you, Mr. Rabi, Dr. Rabi, for your professional presentation and for facilitate this presentation. And I would like to thank KGC and Abu Dhabi University for this opportunity to share my views with the wide audience that we have in across UAE and Middle East. But I can say this, KGC, allow me to say this, is launching a number of supply chain courses this year. We have designed a number of courses, and one of them is going to be AI as well in the near future, AI in the supply chain. So those of the audience who would like to know more, please contact KGC for further information, because we have a series of programs which we are going to launch in the coming weeks and months. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you as well. Have a great afternoon, everyone. And thank you for attending the webinar.